All right, back here with Captain Marty. Got another great story to tell. I'm sure it's full of great stories. And if you get an opportunity to do so, go back on OuterBanksThisWeek.com, click on the Captain Marty tab, and you can see a list of his stories right there. His fishing reports, his stories, his Other Side of Fishing show. They're all archived right there, and you can listen to any of them at any
our
time.
1 hour or longer ones that we do once a month.
That's right. Our Other Side of Fishing
our
show.
in-depth ones.
Yes, absolutely. But it's always fun, Marty, when we do these types of things in front of an audience. And Mr. Dave has joined us again today from Big Bumper.
Big Bumper, yes. They make boat bumpers, and I'm learning all about them every day.
And they're
Great
big.
idea. Yeah, and they're stowable.
And that's the key thing right there is them being stowable, for traveling and, think about all the boats that travel up and down the eastern seaboard. And
So did you like my idea of the Captain Marty's Big Bumper, that we're going to try to get them to make one that looks like me?
Maybe not just like me, something relatively similar.
Okay, I'm sure there's a market for that, Marty.
Yeah.
We'll go with the 6-footer. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah,
6 foot.
around. Anyway.
All right, Mr. Dave's here with us. Marty, what kind of story are we telling today? Talk to me.
Well, one great thing about our fishing fleet, we fish as a fleet. A lot of those boats from my years were single engine boats, and someone said, what if it breaks down? You don't have you're always in the middle of the fleet, almost always. Coast Guard rarely towed anybody in. We towed each other back to the dock. But things can happen. And I'm going to tell you something. We are the safest, have the best safety record of any offshore fleet I've ever seen. But there was a day way back in 1984 when I was running the Reelin, a boat a lot of folks remember I ran for 6 or 7 years at Oregon Inlet. And I had a novice new mate named Mike Pullin. He was from California. And I'll tell you how he got to be the mate and what job he had to do, which was way above his pay grade when I come back.
When lines are tight and the bite is on, you need fuel that keeps up with the action. Introducing Sport Fisher, the drink built for anglers and adventurers who never quit chasing the next big catch. With bold flavor and serious kick, Sport Fisher keeps you energized from the first cast to the last run offshore. Whether you're chasing tuna, marlin, largemouth bass, or just for a great day on the water, crack open a can and fuel the catch. Grab yours today and learn more at SportFisherEnergy.com. Sport Fisher, because legends don't run out of energy.
At the south end of Roanoke Island, in a quiet little village, lies a marina known for having one of the finest fishing fleets on the Outer Banks. Whether it be an offshore excursion, a nearshore charter, or headboat fishing, Wayyy's Marina is where to go. Wayyy's Marina is a full-service marina, complete with a fueling dock, bait, tackle, ice, and the landing grill restaurant. All of this is just a few minutes from some of the finest fishing spots around. Book online at Wayyy'sMarina.com. Wayyy's Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road, Wayyy's.
So in 1984, a young man named Mike Pullin, you know a lot of this story, Justin.
I've heard this one.
And
Yeah,
Mike
now
Pullin,
that you start talking, I've
I
heard
hired him sight unseen from California because his buddy John Bayless, our friend John Bayless, when his dad was tragically killed in an auto accident, I got the battlefield promotion from mate to captain while John went to California to run the family business, which happened to be FM radio station there. While he was there, he took diving lessons with 2 young dive instructors, Chris Hall and Mike Pullin. He liked Chris so much, he invited Chris back across the country to mate on the Tar Heel that summer. And Chris did such a great job, was such a nice guy, just a nice young man. I said to him, is there any more like you back in California? I'm going to need a mate next summer. And he told me about Mike. And John had met and did a lot of diving with Mike, and he said, you'll like him a lot. I hired him on John's and Chris's recommendation. He drove all the way across the United States. Listen to this. He drove as a sub part of the story. He drove all the way across the United States, nonstop. He got 2 speeding tickets, both of them in Dare County.
Oh, Lord.
and the last 30 miles of his trip, he got
That's
not
great.
one.
Not surprising.
He got one in this side of Columbia when you come across the Alligator River Bridge. By the way, that's a notorious speed trap.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Mr. Dave said he got one.
Almost everybody. And then he got one in Nag's Head. He got one between Wellborn Junction and the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. He was like 3 miles from the marina.
Oh, Lord.
Like, welcome to North Carolina.
Welcome.
Mike was a great guy. He, since all this story and his years as a mate with me, he went into the private boat industry, and now he runs one of the largest private yachts in the world, the 318 feet long Yacht Limitless. And if you want to Google something really cool, Google Yacht Limitless, And that's the boat that he worked his way up through with Chris Hall and Major. They ran the Saudi Princess boat for a while, but he ended up on the Limitless, and that boat is owned by Les Wexner, who owns Victoria's Secrets, Abercrombie and Fitch, and all those other the limited stores.
Hugh Hefner Jr., it sounds like.
Yeah, they have called me. That's another story for another day.
Okay.
Rookie mate Mike, it's his second day on the Reelin. It's kind of like the story I was telling y'all when I started out. I didn't know much.
Right.
Anyway, we're out there, and the boat Fishin Frenzy at the time, being captained by the late Mike Clarkin, was out there, and they had busted something under the boat. A plank had caved in, or something was major wrong, and they were sinking. Now, I'm going to tell you how the story plays out when I come back. Maybe you can learn a lesson. Hey y'all, Captain Marty here to tell you that when my friends are in the market for a new boat engine, repair, or repower, I send them to the best in the business, and that's at Ratcliffe Marine in Belhaven. Ratcliffe Marine is your official Honda outboard dealer. Honda motors are designed to get you on the water fast and get you back to the dock safely and quickly. Ratcliffe Marine is best known as the largest repower center in North Carolina. So when you're in the market for a new motor or you need your Honda service, go to Ratcliffe Marine, 865 Highway 264, Belhaven. So the call comes over the radio, and it's a little bit choppy, but not horrible. And Mike comes over, man, I don't know what happened, but something is broken under the boat. And we're taking on water quick. And he said, I got to get in the engine room, call the Coast Guard, get him to send the helicopter with a pump immediately. And so I looked over, I could see him. I could see she was already starting to settle down in the water. Now, you got 6 people in the charter, a captain and a mate. So what happens is we know, I told Mike, I said, Mike, grab up 3 or 4 5-gallon buckets that you can find. I'm going to take you over there. Can you jump from the bow of my boat onto the bow of that boat? There's no bow rails on these boats, and the boats are going up and down. And he looked like a ghost. He said, I can do that. I said, when you get on there, just do whatever the captain tells you to do, but get them 6 people in that charter bailing. Because Arvin Midget, my old friend, Captain Arvin Porky on the Mississippi, used to always say, 6, talking about chart, not the mate and the captain, but the crew, said 6 scared charter boat people could move a lot of water with a 5-gallon bucket.
Right. Oh,
because what happens is, eventually your batteries, if your engine cuts off, the batteries go dead. Bilge pumps will go for a while, but anyway, so all I know is I put him up there, and several other boats put a mate on board with buckets. And meanwhile, I just circled around, got out of the way, and they were bailing. Everybody was bailing, passing up buckets of water from the bilge. Mike was in that greasy old dirty bilge trying to. What had happened was they had busted a plank back when the boats were planked, and you take a lot of water in a hurry. So I was circling around watching, and here come the helicopter. They got there from Elizabeth City. God bless them. They have rescued so many people. They're such amazing people, but they come from Elizabeth City, and they go to New York. They cover a wide range.
They do.
From that base. Anyway, they came out there. Well, Mike is doing what he can in the cockpit, and the Coast Guard, he's never seen a Coast Guard helicopter hovering in over top. And there's a guy sitting in the door of the helicopter, all right? And he lets down a rope, or a cable, a rope, whatever it was. And there's a bag weighted on the end of it. And you know what that's for? Dave, you know what that's for?
Got me?
Yeah.
Okay, the bag keeps the rope from whipping. It's full of sand.
Right, okay.
It keeps the cable from slipping. It's called the messenger line. It comes down. You're to grab that, and that way when they let the pump down, you're guiding it right down into your cockpit, okay? It's hard to do. They prefer that you keep your boat in gear and you're going ahead. They'd rather you do that than stop. Mike's motor had cut off. So Mike, the captain, he's down in the bilge. Mike, my mate, they're both named Mike. He sees this thing coming. He doesn't know what it is. He says, that's the patching kit. That's what he thinks it is. It's a kit.
The passion.
He unhooks it off of the cable and lets go of the cable. And it starts whipping around. He runs down to the bilge and hands it to the captain, who's up to his chest in water. And Mike the captain told me the story later. He said, what is that? Mike, the mate, thought he was going to stick it in the hole. It was epoxy or something hard when it got wet. So anyway, there's so much going on in the hecticness. The helicopter comes back in for pass number 2. Mike runs back out to the cockpit. The charter is still bailing like crazy. The Coast Guardman in the door is like pointing, and He puts another bag on there and sends it down again. And Mike, the mate, says, man, this must be a really bad leak. They're sending down more of the patching kit.
Oh, my gosh.
He unhooked it twice now.
Oh, no.
Runs it back down to the bilge, and Mike, the captain, says, what are you doing? And Mike says, isn't this the repair kit? And he said, no, it's not the repair kit. And he said, get back out there. So he goes back out in the cockpit. This time, the helicopter comes in for approach number 3. Guess what's on the end of that rope? The guy sitting in the doorway. He's fastened to it himself. And he comes down there. And I can't say on this program what he told Mike when he got he had to come down from the helicopter and guide the pump down, which Mike felt really foolish. Second day on the job. He's a dive instructor from California. So anyway, they got the pump going and saved the Fishin Frenzy, which is still, of course, you know, these boats, we build them from scratch, and we can repair them and rebuild them. And we've had all kinds of examples of boats that have had issues, major issues, that are still fishing. Captain Greg Mayer runs the Fishin Frenzy. It was on Wicked Tuna OBX. Everybody knows that boat. And I think Dave mentioned that he might have even gone fishing on it. So they saved the boat that day. Mike Pullin never lived that down. And when you stop and think, he's running one of the largest yachts in the world. And many times he has called me from the middle of the Black Sea, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. They've made 32 trips across the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
Going to Nice. Where's that? What country is
France.
that? France. Thank
Yeah.
you. Nice, France. That's what they have a home port there. And just really neat. But his start was one for the storybooks, and it's my story for you today.